farmers are the backbone of this country, and any of them watching now, I mean, they probably won't be, but watch because they're out feeding.
But we have so many of coming and being a part of this programme, because I mean, it's the root of our existence here at Love Your Weekend, is to support farming and countryside communities and to show how it works and to explain the importance of it.
It's programmes like this that celebrate the British farmer, and I think that's a wonderful thing. It's so important.
Your own life has changed quite dramatically over the past few years. Has that in a way made life more difficult for you, doing the job you do, bearing in mind your relationship now? The king is your godfather, is also your stepfather, your mother is now the queen. That's a pretty hefty yoke.
For them, certainly. Obviously, the king is magnificent, and my mother's done a great job. But I think I'm nearly 50, very, very near 50. I write for the Mail on Sunday and for Country Life. I'm a journalist. That's my job, and they get on, do their thing. The nice thing about the king is that he knows so much about the countryside, about rare breeds, about heritage varieties, about different kinds of what you plant, about biodiversity, and as you know, he has been championing sustainable farming, all these words that come up now. He's been talking about them 30, 40 years ago.
He's so passionate about it. And a doer, not just a talker.
Yes.
You go around to any, the States, whether it's Balmoral or it's Sandringham, it's in action there. It is happening. He does it. I don't know where he gets his energy from.
And this is what is, as being lucky enough to for my mother being married to him, to be able to talk to someone who has been at the forefront of agriculture, of all these sort of crucially important things. The Prince's Countryside Fund that's now turned into the King's Countryside Fund. You can ask him about the strangest varieties. We were talking about plums, the plum things, and he just knows. It just comes off the top. He's forgotten more than I'll ever know.
Is eggs drum Kilbo in here?
Yes.
I've read so much about eggs drum Kilbo that the Queen Mother used to love, didn't she?
It was a lovely story that there was a house called Drum Kilbo, one of those wonderful white houses in Scotland. Late at night, guests came and were hungry. Now, this being a grand Scottish house, in the cold box as it was then, there was a bit of leftover lobster and some aspic and, tomatoes and prawns. And the cook got up, Madame Volker she was called, and whipped together...
What?
She was called Madame Volker, by all accounts. And she whipped together this amazing sort of lobster dish. And I wrote about this for a long time, in my columns in the newspaper. And anyway, I found out by a rather disgruntled but charming member of the family that actually that's not quite the true story. That it was created by their cook, and the Queen Mother did like it very much because she was a cousin and brought it to Birk Hall. But no, like a lot of these culinary stories, they sound better in truth than reality. It doesn't matter, it's still a good tale.
Yeah. Do you now find it more difficult to see your mum?
I suppose her downtime is more important, but it's that thing of thinking, where's my mother? And then I'd look on the television or read the newspaper. There she is, brilliant. So you know that she's looked after and she's happy. But yes, I've got children, my sister's got children, she's a really good grandmother. So we go down, to her house in Wiltshire, and that's where we can relax.
So family time is, in a way now, I think probably to her, even more important than
really important. And the children, of course, don't really know any difference. So Uppa, as they call the king, they've sort of grown up with this man they all love and think it's wonderful. They don't really, people ask them, like, what? He's just Uppa. Yeah. So yes, they have a healthy perspective, I think. But you have to keep saying, it's king. Get out your tracksuit bottoms. But no, it's so yes, but it's always nice to see. And she, when she's away, you talk a lot. We're all still, including my mother and father, we're close family, so that's very important.
What have you got down there?
And then this is for your greenhouse.
Oh, bless you.
So this is a chilli plant. I love growing tomatoes and chilies. They're cayenne, a variety of. So there's a bit of heat, but they tend to mellow out slightly weirdly as they move to orange and then red eventually. But I love. Chili is for me the most fascinating fruit in the world. They can be spicy, they can have flavour, and very easy to grow.
Your last meal on earth, what would it be?
I'd like to say something like, roast chicken perhaps, and
because that's your mother's.
But then maybe, and I don't want to sound too thin, but caviar's quite nice if someone else is paying. Sorry.
You said the trouble with you, Tom Parker Bowles, is you now have ideas far. I was going to say above your station, but the thing is, they're not anymore, are they?
They are way above my station, yes. And so if anyone else is paying, great, but no, it would be something simple: roast chicken or a steak.
Oh, with you on the steak kidney pudding. Thanks, Tom. Now, you'll stay with us for a glass at the end as your reward.
Of course, yes.
Wonderful, bless your heart. And there's cheese too, I've been told. You'd be pleased to know. Lovely, you do quite well out of this.